What is up, listeners? This is Stace Dizzle, aka Stacy Tracy. On today's show, I'm going to talk about the legendary Don King. Don King. When I say his name, many of you think of a crook, a guy that ripped people off, a guy that was a cheater, a guy who was unfair. But you know what? Call him whatever you want. Boxing history would not be the same without Don King. Imagine if Don King never existed. There would never have been a Thriller in Manila. There would never have been a Rumble in the Jungle. And hate to say it, I'm going to throw this out there. Muhammad Ali was great, one of the greatest of all time. That may not be Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would be a great Olympic boxer, champion, a great athlete. But many of you may not never even seen or heard of him because of that. Some of you out there want to argue with me, but you know what? How many boxers can you name today? And don't say there's no boxers out there. There's plenty of boxers out there. Just what it is, what's going on now is there's no promoters out there to promote the great boxers, like how Don King back in the days. Also, Don King, he promoted great fighters, like I said, Ali, Larry Holmes, Vander Holyfield, Caesar Chavez, Trinidad, Roy Jones, Barrera, Azuma Nelson, and the list goes on and on. This guy was amazing. He had a career that can be matched by any. And like I said, imagine boxing history without the guy. The guy definitely had a very shaky past. For example, at one fight, Larry Holmes claimed that he took home $150,000 when he was promised $500,000. That's sad because that's like he only made like 20% of the fight, and Don King got 80, or promotion company. That's wrong. Ali once sued Don King for about $1 million, and then later Don King sent one of Ali's friends over, and Ali signed a form and settled for $50,000. The guy, he had some corrupt practices, but his contribution to boxing, it's just great. And it kind of tells you sometime the question, when is it okay to be unethical and get results, or to be clean cut, like Golden Boy Promotions, for example. Very clean cut organization. They have the top boxers, but I'll be honest, listeners out there who are not Hispanic, I'm sorry, because Hispanic people use boxing fans, but outside of that, many people are not really into boxing like how they used to be. How many of you can really name De La Hoya's boxers? And he has a lot of champions, but none of you can name them. But see, when Don King was in the scene, we all can name his boxers. My moms and grandma can name some of Don King's boxers to this very day. It's just that the current promoters, like De La Hoya, they're just not promoting the boxers like how Don King did. His practices were very questionable, but at least he got results. It kind of answers the question, or it's like an old saying, the ends justify the means. He definitely got some great ends, but the way he went about it was kind of questionable. But in the long run, as fans, he brought us the greatest fights. I end today's show. Be honest, I am praising Don King's accomplishments. It was amazing. Like I mentioned, he brought us great fighters like Ali, Holmes, Holyfield, Chavez, Trinidad, Roy Jones. Well, later part of Roy Jones' career. Barrera, Azuma Nelson. Great fights like the Thriller in Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle. And that's about it. Like I said, his practices were questionable, but what he contributed to boxing, there'd be no other man like him. Oh, and also I forgot one other important thing. He made pay-per-view, so popular. Pay-per-view, when it first came out, it wasn't really as popular. It was only just for a few movies. He made the first popular pay-per-view fight. It was in the early 80s, Ali versus Frazier. And then to this very day, pay-per-view is just, it's huge. And listeners, once again, thanks for listening to the Sports Bar. You can check out this show and other shows at stacysports.com, stacysports.com.